This is 20-year-old Devon Howard. Devon is sitting in a cold interrogation room alongside his 3 co-accomplices due to their suspected involvement in the brutal shooting and murder of 27-year-old Andrew Janicek. Coincidentally, all 4 claim that they had no involvement in the crime whatsoever, and in fact don't seem to take the situation seriously at all.
Where did you pick her up at? Okay. Relax, it's okay.
No, I'm fine. I'm just tired.
Okay.
I was involved in the murder of somebody.
Oh, the time is right there.
What the group doesn't realize at this time is that Andrew's murder was fully recorded on multiple security cameras and shows a man getting out of 19-year-old Alicia Valdez's car before killing Andrew. Even more disturbing is that the same vehicle would drive over Andrew's lifeless body before fleeing the scene.
What if I told you you just need to wet this razor in order to use it? This Moisture Plus razor by Flamingo actually has a moisture bar.
Alexis Ellis, a bystander at the scene, would hear the gunshot go off and rush over to Andrew to perform CPR while her friend Alyssa called 911.
Jeffcom 911, what is the address of the emergency?
I don't know. I'm just at the corner. It's like Sheridan and 20th. Some guy just got shot, and they took off in a silver 2-door Pontiac, and he's on the ground. He's like face down.
Did you see the person that shot him?
Did you see the person with the gun? Alexis, answer my question. Did you see the person with the gun? She said it looked like a little Mexican dude.
Okay, and it was just the one male in that vehicle, or did she see anyone else?
He got into the passenger seat of the car. Okay, he's hit in the chest. He's got bullets in the chest. We're flipping him over because he's not breathing.
Unfortunately, Andrew would pass away within minutes. Even more unsettling is that the same car model would be seen at a local gas station later that night, where everyone inside would happily buy snacks, joke, and laugh as if nothing had happened just hours prior. The footage inside the gas station would identify the occupants of the vehicle as 19-year-old Alicia Valdez, 20-year-old Caleb Vigil, and 20-year-old Devon Howard Lopez. While painting these 3 out to be killers just based on their car make is clearly premature, it's enough evidence for police to file a warrant for the arrest of the 3 suspects so they can bring them in for questioning to try and determine if the bunch had any involvement in Andrew's death. What makes this case so interesting is the amount of blatant lies and misinformation that would come out during these interrogations. You would think that at least one of the suspects would feel guilty and confess, but everyone involved would fabricate their story and lie to lessen their perceived role in the crime. But at this point, the police have yet to apprehend any suspects. Their only lead is a lifeless body sprawled on the pavement and 2 shaken witnesses who made the 911 call. Police start by questioning Alexis, the witness who called the cops. Remember, this is an interview and not an interrogation, as currently Alexis is considered a witness rather than a suspect. But there is something suspicious about her that the detectives want to clarify. 3 years earlier, Alexis was charged as an accessory to murder after her boyfriend shot and killed one of his friends from the vehicle she was driving. The detective leading the interview, Nathan Geerdes, would discover this information during a brief preparation period prior to the interview and is curious as to if maybe she had more to do with Andrew's murder than she was letting on.
We pulled up, we parked in the back parking lot. My friend got out to go into the dispensary. Sitting on my phone, playing on Facebook, heard the shot, thought it was a firework for a second. So I looked up and saw the victim face down on the floor. And the shooter, there was a silver Pontiac in front of the victim. And the shooter was in front of the car, still kind of standing by the victim's body with the gun pointed at him. And then got back into the Pontiac on the passenger side. They hesitated for a minute on which way they're going to pull off. Looked like they were trying not to hit him. They kind of looked around the parking lot to see if anyone saw it. I was kind of trying to duck as much as possible. I got out of the car. Once I saw that they were gone, ran up to him. I said, "Are you hit?" He said, "Yes, please help me." Called 911, let him know there was an ambulance on the way. Sounded like he was kind of crying. He wasn't saying anything else. After 2 minutes, the crying stopped. So went to check for a pulse. There was no pulse.
Big neck?
Big neck.
You alright?
Yeah.
Take note of Alexis's posture when discussing the shooting. She's leaned in towards the officer and seems comfortable, showing little signs of resistance. This language presents truthfulness on her behalf, so it's unlikely she feels any guilt, which likely means that her recollection of events is indeed accurate to what she believed happened.
So you hear nothing. The first thing that catches your attention is a shot. Okay? Are you familiar with guns?
That's what I'm on probation for.
How so?
I was dating a guy for 3 weeks. He asked for a ride and shot and killed somebody at the King Soopers on Sheridan Hampton in 2015.
So you heard a gun go off?
Yeah, he was 5 feet in front of me on that one too.
Got some tremendous luck.
Yeah.
Did you get charged?
Yeah. Accessory to a crime, F4.
How did all this make you feel?
I don't know. I mean, it was hard. I was glad I was able to react like that because I didn't react like that with my case. At the same time, I'm not my PO and everybody's probably gonna chew my ass for it, but he didn't die alone. He knew somebody was there trying to help. Just being around it and being around the situation.
Your fault?
No, but there's.
Did you know this was gonna go down?
Barstool Crypto, it's on crack in my crypto, it's on crack in my XRP, it's on crack and I'm part of the XRP army. XRP's back down to $2.24. I have an announcement I'm gonna make. And I'm gonna stay on here until I make the announcement.
A few minutes later.
I just bought another million of XRP.
Hi, I'm Brett.
And I'm Jonathan.
This is Darla.
And this is Buddy.
We're the founders of The Farmer's Dog.
We've made an entirely new way to feed your dog.
It all started with my first dog, Jada. I got Jada in my early 20s. It was just love at first sight. She was the most adorable, smart dog, but her stomach was just constantly a problem. Nothing seemed to help her until a vet recommended that I started home cooking for her.
All of her issues went away. Her life changed. So Brett.
No.
This interview clearly showcased the responses suspects make when dealing with discomfort. We could physically see her subtle movement patterns and how they coincided with certain emotions Alexis was feeling. Her body language makes sense. She felt uncomfortable while discussing her own criminal history, which is completely reasonable. However, when discussing a crime she had no part in, her demeanor changed significantly, with an open posture and willingness to answer every question. And with this, we should be now more prepared to analyze the interrogation of a less innocent suspect later on in this video. Following this interview, police would continue their hunt to find the whereabouts of the three inside the suspected vehicle, and it wouldn't take them long at all. Just a few hours later, at 4 a.m., an officer spotted a vehicle closely resembling the one described by Alexis driving recklessly and pulled it over. It quickly became clear that this was no ordinary traffic stop.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
Hey, Officer Lloyd Denver Police. You can't turn left there.
Oh, I can't?
No, it says there's a big sign up there that says do not turn left. That's just,
oh, yeah.
You don't have a front plate either. Is it up in the window?
Yeah, because
okay.
My thing is broken, so I got to get a new one to actually hold it.
The bracket?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, do you have your license, registration, insurance, ma'am?
Yes, there's those.
Okay.
There you go.
Alicia Valdez. Alicia, gotta have you step out for a second. Don't grab anything with you, okay? Just step on out for me. Yeah, put your hands behind your back. You got a warrant, okay?
Why?
Why do you have a warrant? Yeah. You probably know that better than I do, but we're gonna do some research and tell you exactly what it is. Yeah, they put out a felony warrant out for you.
A felony warrant?
Yeah.
Yep. Do you have anything on you I need to know about?
I don't.
Okay.
All right, if you wanna watch them, I'll pat him down real quick. I'm just gonna set you down on the curb, okay? You just put your wallet on the top, man. I'll give it back to you in a sec here, okay? Go ahead and just put him right behind. You're not in trouble, you're not going to jail, you're not getting arrested right now. All right, just gonna pat you down real quick, man. You can put your phone in your pocket. The same thing as your partner, you're not going to jail, you're not getting handcuffed. I'm just doing this for while you're gonna be sitting behind us, okay? Okay, anything in your hood or in your pockets you know about?
No.
Perfect, okay, you can go have a seat with them, okay? Is this your gold phone? Okay.
At this very moment, the officer would discover a pistol inside the vehicle. Caleb had just stated there were no guns inside the vehicle just minutes earlier, so the officer quickly places Caleb under arrest so they can safely investigate this increasingly tense situation.
Stand up, man. Stand up. Travis, behind your back. You're not gonna tell me there's a gun in the seat next to you? What? You're gonna tell me that you're gonna try to leave a gun on the seat when you left? That'd be nice to know, wouldn't it? Oh, and a pocket full of bullets. How about this? I'm about to get out of the car. Officer, I have a gun on me. Right? What's that? One more person? They're all hooked. Did you let them know that this is in the car?
What is it?
SCCY 9mm.
All four would be arrested following the discovery of Caleb's pistol. However, throughout the entire process, Alicia, the owner of the car, would stay eerily optimistic, as if she hadn't yet connected the dots that her arrest was related to Andrew's murder.
Just stay right there for a second.
Yes, sir.
Let's have a seat over here in this black chair.
If you could possibly find me a restroom, I'd really appreciate it.
Now that the suspects have finally been secured, detectives would begin the process of individually interrogating all four suspects, with separate preparation and planning made for each interrogation in attempts to get as many differing stories and general information as possible. They would begin with Alicia Valdez, who was allegedly the driver of the vehicle. They sit her in an open room with a large TV to her left and a digital clock behind. This is drastically different from the cold, empty room seen earlier in this video. This is done purposefully. This room is meant to feel welcoming and open. The table creates a subconscious, comforting barrier between the suspect and the detectives, something that's absent in many more aggressive interrogations. The objective is to get Alicia to feel comfortable and willing to speak to the detectives. Remember, at this point, Alicia knows very little about what evidence the cops have. She has no idea that everything was recorded on CCTV, and they know that her car was there. The plan is to set a trap that prevents Alicia from denying that she was at the scene, so the more willing she is to talk at the beginning, the better. That's why they start the questioning off lightly, but it'll ramp up in no time at all.
Yeah, just have a seat right there. Want some water?
Oh, thank you.
No? Okay. It's over here if you want it.
Okay, thank you.
You all right?
Cold. Yeah. It was nice earlier.
Yeah.
The detectives offer her water to immediately try to appear friendly and form a bond. People are much more likely to tell a friend something than they are a stranger, so this is an extremely important step. You'll notice this friendly demeanor slowly fades and changes as the interrogation continues.
And where do you live at?
Right now, kind of a bit of everywhere.
Okay.
Where do you? In my car.
In your car? Okay.
Keep this fact in mind for later on in the interrogation, as the detectives will use it to prove she was at the scene later on.
We're in the car with you today. It's your car, right?
Mm-hmm.
How long have you owned that car?
I've had that car for, I believe, about 6 months. Maybe.
So 6 months about?
Mm-hmm.
You owned it?
Where did you get it?
I bought it from a public auction down in Colorado Springs.
Okay.
Okay, so you have keys to the car.
Mm-hmm.
Have you given your keys to anybody else?
No, the only ones that were there are the ones that were in the car.
Okay, so when you bought the car, there was one set of keys?
Mm-hmm. And then I had another maid, but they're together. They're on the same.
Okay.
This is a simple question, and it should have a definitive answer. Based on what she's just said, the fact that the only 2 keys are in her possession, there's no reason for her to be unsure who has access to the car. She's deflecting.
So you say you've been kind of homeless here recently?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, living out of that car?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where else have you been staying?
Sometimes with gentlemen in the green out there.
Caleb?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, talk about, who else was in the car with you tonight?
My boyfriend and another young woman I don't know.
Who's your boyfriend?
Devon's.
Where'd you meet him?
Mutual friends.
Okay.
If you haven't noticed already, Alicia is extremely nervous. We're 10 minutes into this interview, and her leg hasn't stopped bouncing up and down the entire time. She's also been moving around in her chair and avoiding eye contact while answering very simple questions. Even without the evidence that they'd already collected beforehand, the detectives would likely already be convinced that she played a part in what happened. Now it's just about exploiting these weaknesses and extracting a confession using everything they know. And the process starts by establishing a timeline.
Who are the other two people in the car?
Caleb, I met him through mutual friends too. I haven't really known him that long.
What about the girl? Do you know her name?
I have no idea who she is.
When did you meet her?
Just tonight.
Where did you pick her up at?
I don't know, because I don't know Denver like that.
Where were you at before you left to go pick this girl up?
Caleb's.
Was Devon there with you?
Mm-hmm.
So you were a few hours at Caleb's house, and then Caleb asked you to go pick this girl up, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you picked her up, and you were headed back to Caleb's house when the police stopped you. Like, have I got all that right?
We were headed back, but I stopped at the 7-Eleven down the street. So
okay.
I could
Which 7-Eleven?
get some drinks. The one off of Colfax and Ogden, I think.
Okay.
The detectives now have a story that Alicia is locked into, meaning that if anything she says contradicts this, they'll know she's lying, and they can use it to trap her to put on more pressure. Alicia, however, is playing a game of her own and trying her best to dodge questions and hide certain details from the cops, but she's fighting a losing battle, and the cops know it.
How long have you been staying at Caleb's house?
Let me show you how to go viral on Instagram. The app can make your videos go viral. Simply upload your videos and Video Up will create a video for you in less than 10 seconds. The app will handle the music and editing. Try the app for free and go viral starting today.
Not really a lot.
I'm just trying to get a sense of like every other night, every night, 5 nights a week. What? Just give me an idea.
Maybe like 1 to 2 nights.
1 to 2 nights a week. What were you doing today before you went over to Caleb's house?
Mainly just hanging out with my boyfriend. He's trying to keep me distracted off today.
Well, because of the that's we all have stuff like that.
I know.
Yeah. Okay, so where were you hanging out at?
Really just everywhere driving.
Driving?
But that was about it.
Okay. Relax, it's okay.
No, I'm fine. I'm just tired.
Okay.
But Alicia is all too aware that the final thing they did last night is exactly what police want to know about, and she absolutely cannot bring it up.
You stayed anywhere else since you come to Denver other than Caleb's or your car?
I stayed at this one girl's house. I don't remember her name. Like I said, I met her through mutual friends. But those friends that I did meet her through, I'm no longer really in contact with.
Okay, how long ago was that you stayed at her house? A week ago?
A week or something.
Did Devin stay with you at her house too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's with me all the time.
This is an extremely important statement. If they can confirm that either Devon or Alicia was at the scene of the crime, they'll be able to lock both of them into it. The detective immediately realizes the importance of this and forces her to double down on her statement.
Now, has Devin been with you the entire time?
Mm-hmm.
Since you've been here in Denver?
Mm-hmm.
And since he stayed with you at her house?
Mm-hmm.
And he's been staying with you in your car or at Caleb's this whole time, up until tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, has Devin been in the car with you every time you've been out in the car?
I believe so, yes.
Now, on top of the information from before, the detectives know that wherever her car was, both her and Devon had to have been there too. This is where the second stage of the interrogation begins. They're aware she's guilty, have an extremely detailed timeline of events, and know she's feeling extremely uncomfortable. Now, the plan is simple. They want her to give up as much information about the actual murder and the other suspects as possible, so they can easily implicate everyone else that's waiting for their interrogation. So the detectives take a short break. When they sit back down, they plan to switch gears completely. They're going to heavily apply the pressure and attempt to extract a full confession.
Thank you for all this. It's pretty apparent to me you're being truthful about things. And it's also apparent that there's some stuff you don't want to talk about. But we've been sitting here talking for a while. I genuinely like you. I think you're a good kid. Well, to me, you're a kid.